look at the Kudu project now with a new vision, with a new lens, with a new opportunity, because now, because of the additional gas reserve that we have had, it's now a project that is backed by infrastructure. It is also natural gas, as the minister has been saying, is a clean energy source. With the production of electricity from natural gas, we are therefore able to provide an energy transition solution and being able to lower our carbon emission as a continent and also as a nation. With this, I know that within the energy mix, we are driving towards utilizing all the energy resources that we have in the country. This we have embarked on the National Integrated Resource Plan, but there is a need for us to have a base load power. And Kudu is the only solution that can give us base load power, and only with base load power you are able to industrialize as a nation. Ladies and gentlemen, when we are searching for these resources, we are looking at an opportunity for us not only to have our lights on, we are looking for an opportunity for the industrial nation. An industrial nation will therefore be built by making sure that we provide power that can be able to drive this industry. With that, it also then provides an energy security for the region. The SADC region, as you know, the power deficit that we are experiencing, everybody can see it, and therefore this solution will be, this project will then give a solution not only to Namibia, but especially to South Africa, Zambia and Zimbabwe, and also other countries who are experiencing load shedding currently. So it's a sound investment in terms of the upstream and the downstream, and we therefore welcome you to participate in this project. In terms of the journey to production, I wanted us to be aware of the timelines that are involved. When we are making our plans, when we are building our national development agendas, we should be cognizant of the timing, that when can we possibly be able to see this first oil. It's not a pipe dream, it is a reality, but it's a reality that is very much dependent on the time factor. We are today at a stage where we only have the discoveries. Right now, history is being made in Namibia because for the first time, we are having 4 drilling rigs operating in the Namibia water right now. We have the Mira, we have the Tungsten, we have the Voyager, we have the Bolster. They are all operating in the Orange Basin, trying to apprise them for us to get the data that we need to see how much can this well, how much of this oil can we be able to flow to the surface so that then we can be able to produce commercially. With this information, it will take us another 6 months for us to gather all the data. And after these 6 months, we will then be able to know the size of the accumulation and how much we can be able to produce, so that then we can be able to develop these fields. Infrastructures need to be built. We need up to from between 1 and 7 years. The question then remains is, when does this first year start? And that is a challenge that we, unfortunately, I will not be able to tell you today, but I know exactly where we stand. But because of the market, we are not going to say it. Once we have developed the infrastructures that we need, it's the only time then we can be able to see the first oil. And our production profile for Namibia, for this field, is earmarked that each and every one of these fields has the potential to be able to produce for at least 25 years. So what we have as a risk, there are 6 risk elements that we have to take into consideration. The first one is that the appraisal projects or programs do not yield the results as we see them, which means that it could be non-commercial discovery, which means that we only get encouraged because there are more prospects that are coming that are in Namibia, that we see in the subsurface. Another risk that we have to take into consideration is the effect that we need to attract foreign direct investment into the industry for us and to be able to sanction these infrastructures that we need. After that, Then it's only the production, and only depending on the production profile and then the element of the market, the crude price also is a very important factor that we have to take into consideration. With that being said, we are preparing ourselves as a Namibian government, and especially the Ministry of Mines and Energy, to ensure then that we have captured and that we are prepared for that day, and we are prepared for the journey in terms of getting the country ready to be able to be an oil producer. With this, while we are still in the pre-production phase, what we are doing is that we are putting together effective petroleum revenue management legislation. We want to ensure that the yields and the economic value that's going to be generated by these discoveries should benefit the current and the future generations. And that should be enshrined in our laws. That's what we are doing. We are also, without us building the capacity, it's our objective that the Namibian oil and gas industry should be manned by Namibian men and women. With that, we need to build the capacity. So right now, we are busy building the capacity so that we can have institutions that are able to oversee the oil and gas industry operation. Additional to that, we also have an obligation as a Namibian government to ensure that we share the correct information with the Namibian people, so that people can prepare timely, so that people can prepare effectively, and so that people can know what is to be expected. We do not want to sell pipe dreams, but we also don't want to sell ourselves short. So the Namibian people need to be aware, and the obligation lies on the entire government as a collective effort for us to share the correct and truthful information with the citizens. We also have an objective of a sustainable governance. This is critical, and these elements need to be built in right now. While we are preparing the fields, we are also preparing the Namibian government in order of effective administration. After that is then the operative public administration, which means the Namibian men and women need to know to take your place so that you can know where to play. The economy is built in by Namibians participating in this industry. Not by the tax revenues that are going to come, but by Namibians being able to participate. But for a Namibian citizen to be able to effectively participate, you need to be prepared. And your time to prepare yourself is today, if you haven't started yesterday. During production, once the oil is here, once the oil is flowing, we therefore have to have a plan for improved socio-economic development and balanced inequalities. This inequality that we are seeing in Namibia should end by the time that we are in production. We also need to have a high human development indicators. These are elements that need to be in play by the time you are in production. Low levels of corruption, responsible environment management, and a balanced spending withstanding the volatile markets as we are dependent on the oil prices. And with this, we are therefore thinking of building an autonomy economy that is outside the oil and gas sector. Ladies and gentlemen, the economic benefit of Namibia, as I said, we have a government take that is ranging between 58% to 65%, with government take of only 42%. But your benefit and for you to be able to build the economy, we therefore need to focus on what we call the local content. The local content, with the local content, we have the local content policy that has been established. My colleague Carol McLeod will give you a deep dive tomorrow in terms of the provisions of this law. But what we need to know, what I need you to know right now is that while we are servicing the exploration sector, there is a lot of value that is being generated that is available for Namibians to participate. Within the petroleum agreement, we have a clause where Namibian goods and services are mandatory as part of the inputs into the project. Namibian men and women take your place and provide service to this industry, because that service is required out of you as we speak right now. Now, in terms of the future potential, I've told you that we have already begun to scratch the surface with the Orange Basin. We have de-risked the Orange Basin, but what you can see there is a whole entire 1,500 kilometers of offshore distance, whereby we have prospects that are mapped that are waiting for the drill to be dropped for us to be able to discover more resources. Onshore, there is a number of plays that we are also seeing that are also waiting for you to be able to uncover. With that, the opportunity for more success, we continue to gather more data, we continue to evaluate the subsurface, and we continue to see more information that can enable us to be able to even make more prospects that are even bigger than what we are seeing. So what we are waiting for, what we are planning for, is looking forward into a futuristic opportunity whereby we are going to make use of all the infrastructures in Namibia. There is ample volume of natural gas that we are seeing in the Orange Basin. There is infrastructure that is going to be built that is going to bring the green hydrogen to shore in Luthereth for us to provide to the market. We therefore have another opportunity for us to produce blue hydrogen, utilizing the natural gas, and then being able to ship this to the market going forward.